All right, so Life. I wasn't really expecting much from this, to be honest. It looked like it could be one of those sort of Martin Lawrence kind of films. They're kind of okay, not really, the best, kind of middle of the road, all right, average. But obviously it had Eddie Murphy in it. And I'm a big fan of Eddie Murphy. I think he's a great actor. I think he's really fun to watch, and he's really funny. Um, but it exceeded my expectations just as much as Squatters did. I mean, I've had two really good films in a row. I mean, they're so good. Both of them. I mean, I was so surprised by how good both of them are. I mean, I was just expecting average films, but I got something a lot more. And I think this film is so great. I mean, the performances are just stellar. I mean, even Martin Lawrence, who I've not really been a massive fan of. Obviously that movie I watched recently, Blue Streak, where he was fun to watch in that. He wasn't like the most amazing performance, but he still had fun with it. But hands down, this is his best performance he's ever given on film. And Eddie Murphy is great. He never disappoints me. I mean, I haven't really been let down by a performance from him since Vampire in Brooklyn, which was pretty terrible. But let's forget about that. So it starts off, that they sort of bond up together, and then there's something bad happens, and then obviously because sort of talking about the segregation of the whites and the blacks, so you sort of get that at the beginning, and there's a lovely sequence. It's not really spoiling the plot because the film is called Life, so they're in prison for life, um, unless you didn't figure that out. So there's a scene which felt quite matrixy because the whole thing of life and life's all sort of going on around you and you're not really experiencing it kind of thing. Where Martin Lawrence's character Claude, he has this sort of moment where he sort of stops for a second because the segregation is non-existent anymore. It's 1972, at this certain point in the film, and he is quite taken back by it, and that kind of like Matrix feel that they're all living out their lives and he's sort of not. So I like the way they did that. It has an interesting sequence. And for me, I think this film ticks every box it had to tick. I mean, it's funny, it's emotional, you really get into the characters, and you go on this journey with them. It's not like, you go from A to B like really fast. It's a whole like 100-minute film, and I felt really invested by it. The whole thing of it. I mean, it's a really good film. In the same way, The Squatters is a really good film that I wasn't really expecting to really like it, but I actually did really like it, and I think his performances in both of these films elevate them to being really good. I mean, Thomas Dekker was fantastic in Squatters, and the girl I'd never seen the girl before, but she was great. But here, it's just the way that they go together as performances. I mean, it's really really terrific to see them work. And what I love about this film is that it can be funny and comedic, and it can also be sad. Kind of stuff going on as well. And in some cases, at the same time, like something funny happened, then it goes into something sad. But it does it so well that it never feels forced or kind of phony. And you know, I could go into spoiler territory, but maybe I shouldn't. But it's just a really terrific film. I mean, I don't know who's directed it. I mean, I just bought it on the basis that Eddie Murphy was in it. I didn't really know Martin Lawrence in it, and even Bernie Mac's in it, which is great to see because it's really sad that he's no longer with us anymore. But he played this great sort of quite special. I used to use the word special, special person, and he was great. I thought he was really fun to watch. And it's even the guy from Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. He's actually in it, the black guy, because he was the one that got shot, and he was friends with all those people. That yeah, maybe I spoiled that movie. Whoops. But anyway, so he was part of the gang of those people in that film, and then there's the bit later on where he got shot. But that's why I just that's why I just spoiled. Whoops. Um, so I mean, it's just a really good film. I really, really like it. I think Eddie Murphy hasn't really done anything wrong in my book. I think people miss the point that he actually is a really good actor, and he's done a lot of really good stuff in his earlier career, and I still think he's a good actor, no matter what you say. And I just think he's fun to watch, and he's great. He's funny. He's all about his character, and he gets into it. So yeah,